Good evening, my friend. Let's talk about a few things right off the bat. First, please like this video. Oh, and because it is announced that somehow there is the demise to MyPillow, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Now more than ever, they're dancing on the grave of a company that dares to sell a product because they don't like the head of it. What do you have to say? I'll tell you what you have to say. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. That's what you have to say. That's what you have to say. We tell people when they're done. Not the other way around. We tell people. Okay? Leslie Van Houten was paroled, released today after 53 years. 53 years. Give me one reason why that makes sense to you. It's easy to, obviously, say different things. It's easy. It's very, very, very easy to find reasons to be tough. Tough. It's very easy. Very easy. She killed somebody. She took a life. It was brutal. They wrote pig. They stabbed. They did this. That's easy. I can argue that asleep. Give me a reason why she should be paroled. Give me a reason. Give me a reason why she should be released. A Christian reason, a social reason, a spiritual reason, a compassion reason, a humanity reason. Give me a reason. Tell me why she should be released. Tell me. Give me a good one. Horrific crime. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Give me a reason why. I've just enlisted you. You're going to help me. We're going to be on the team that's going to argue for her release. Give me a reason. Use your head. Why? Why would you? Think of a reason. Think of a reason why. Think of a reason why it would make sense to do this. Travesty of justice? Don't know what that means. Travesty of justice, how? For her? Against her? Don't know what that means. Here we go. How is this even possible? How is this even possible for us to think of a reason that makes sense? Tell me why. So she can do it again. 73 years old and a part of the Manson crime family. She's dying. I don't know whether I don't know about her health. But let's assume her health is fine. 53 years. Is there anything? Let's talk about rehabilitation. That's my favorite. Rehabilitation. Does rehabilitation play any role in this whatsoever? Why are people put in prison? Is it to rehabilitate them? Think about this. Do you put people in prison to rehabilitate them? No. No. Do people, as I said, have this idea that they change dramatically? Who cares if they care? Who cares if they change? What would be the basis for this? Like, what's the point? You've done it. What do you have left? Do you want to just strain the last? I don't know. It's very easy to say, let him out. So the question is, give me a reason to release her. Her release is a travesty. Let me try this again. Give me a reason why she should be released. Imagine, come up with something. Talk, step across the table, and think of the hypothetical reason why you would argue in favor of this. Explain it. Why? I'm dead serious. Use your head. It's easy to say it's a travesty. She killed somebody. Yeah. I got that. That's easy. Think of something more difficult. You're standing before, you've hired her, you've done it pro bono, and you're a good person. She's found the Lord. She's done whatever. You tell me. Give me a reason. Why? Someone says, Lionel made me against the death penalty, but unsafe people need to be kept behind bars. Nonviolent crime should be. Do you think she is? Does anybody honestly think that Leslie Van Houten is unsafe? Does anybody think that Leslie Van Houten is unsafe? She's going to go on and kill anybody? I mean, after 53 years in prison, I'm not sure what she's seen before, but do you really think she's going to say, I'm out of here, let's go, come on. Let me get something to eat, find out what a Five Guys is, and then let me go kill somebody. Do you really think that? After 53, she's 73 years old, whatever she is. Yeah, 73. Do you not have compassion? What would Jesus say? What would Jesus say? She did it before, so she could do it again. Liz. 73 years old, in prison. She's going to go out and be a part of a cult. I've got my doubts on whether Manson was even involved in it. And there's a lot of interesting reasons for that as well. Evil is in control. They are revealing all and do not care if the righteous people think, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. That sounds great. No punishments for crime. What does this mean? What does this mean? How many people fancy themselves feeling the compassion of redemption and forgiveness, who talk about this, to turn the other cheek? They live and breathe the Christian notion everywhere you go. This is a country born in Christianity, which is now, by the way, the Treaty of Tripoli. And it could be other things too, not just Christianity. It could be other faiths, but we don't hear of them as much. And yet when it comes to this, it's like, that's different. That's different. Well, yeah, that's it. I always wonder, how do you do this? How can any good person of faith say, yeah, lock her up? Seriously. I mean, this is the thing. What would Jesus do if he's sitting around the room? Lock her up. She'll probably do it again. Jesus, she's 50. Sounds like she's 73 years old. You never can tell with these people. She did it. Eye for an eye, baby. Eye for an eye. That's why I love it. Because what people are saying is, they're justifying the fact that she did something wrong. That's not the issue. The issue is not that she did something wrong. It's terrible what she did. Horrible what she did. Unbelievably terrible what she did. That's not the issue. You're talking about something else. You can't get past that. That's not the issue. The issue is, is there anything called compassion? No. Is there anything? No. Not for this. Why? Nope. What if she killed her, let's say her assailant? What if a child killed her trafficker? Well, that's different. Why is that different? Well, it's kind of self-defense. Okay, I'm with that. So, but the jury didn't think so, and they didn't think so, but you think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm with that. I'm with you on that one. So let's change the circumstance. So death doesn't necessarily mean death. Certain death does. What if somebody came back and they were involved in the war, and they had PTSD, and they were acting out, and they don't remember this. They don't remember what happened. I don't know. I do not understand the notion of what mercy means. I don't understand what this means, especially in the context of salvation and religion. I don't know what that means. I don't understand what it means. I have only me and my sense of, and that's it. And it obeys nothing. At 73 years old, I'd have no problem in paroling her. Have some restrictions. You got to see somebody. You got to check in mental health, just to see, how do you walk out? How does she handle just the freedom part. Sometimes when you put somebody in a regular prison after 50 years, she's so institutionalized. She may be gone. I'd have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Despite what she did. Yeah, she did a terrible thing. Right, she did that. Is there a part where you ever say mercy? That's the part I don't understand. People say, not this case. Okay, fine. That's your opinion. By the way, there's no right or wrong. I just find that fascinating. I just think, and some people are very, very simple. You kill somebody, that's it. Unless, and then we get into and everybody has their unless. Everybody has, well, it's a different story. It's a different story. Unless, fascinating story. There was another case, which is very interesting. Oh, by the way, get ready for what they do now to Jonah Hill. Get ready. There's been a lot of stuff. I know you don't care about that because it's Hollywood. You don't care about that, but we do. And the blinds have been talking about this. We've been waiting for this one. Wait till you see what happens now. He doesn't have too many good... Did you hear about that other famous actor who said most miserable person he's ever met, most horrible person? Did you see that one? Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, when they put an end to you, that's it. See, I find that fascinating. Fascinating. The Madonna story about her bacterial sepsis, again, more nonsense. More absolute nonsense with that. And now we get the story, Disney World's ghost town. Where did all the people go? Where did they go? I know what most people are going to say. They're going to say, well, obviously they went because of this woke business. They took their money elsewhere. They read the paper. Does anybody believe that? Do you believe that, honey? Do you believe that Walt Disney's not doing well because of the woke thing? Do you think the people who go to Walt Disney World read or watch Fox News or Breitbart or CPAC or Turning Point or listening to Charlie, whoever it is, or do you think they know? Do you think people who go to? Do you think that Disney people know anything about this? Do you really think so? Anybody? Do you think they know anything about woke? Hell no. No. No way. It's money, it's different things, it's other reasons. But you see, we deal with people who love to talk about the glory of, the glory of this. They live in a world where they think that what they think, the rest of the world thinks. How many people do you think saw Joe Biden shuffle around in front of King Charles? How many people saw that? How many people think that? Anybody? You? Anybody? Anybody think that they saw any of it? Did you? Anybody? It's interesting to note. I find it fascinating. Do you think that anybody really cared about it? No. What do you think average people know? What do you think they know? What do you think they really care about? You think they're going to vote? I don't know. You see, we find ourselves in worlds that are so insulated. I was talking to a friend of mine today. His whole world is Second Amendment. Second Amendment. And what's that thing called? A wrist stabilizer or a wrist, whatever it's called. It's a big Second Amendment thing. NRA. Wrist stable, you could turn a handgun into a rifle or something. Nobody cared. Huh? Yeah, wrist brace or whatever it is. Anyway, nobody cares. Pistol brace. Nobody cares about that. But to the Second Amendment, what are you talking about? They asked Bobby Kennedy whether he thought about, assault weapons. America didn't care about assault weapons. You care about it. Or maybe some part. See, that's the thing. Do you think anybody saw Joe? No. Do you think they know anything about it? No. What do they care about? They might care about things like this. Boy, it's getting hot. Shark attacks. That's kind of interesting. It's summertime. What else? I promise you, as we speak, more people in this country are talking about the Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Sings apology than you have any idea. And you are going to stand up on your chair and proudly say, "What? I never heard of that. What are you talking about?" More people know about that than anything else. And it's a fascinating study, but it's not within the purview or the ambit of what we're talking about. Isn't that something? Most people have apps. They don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's so interesting. By the way, what is going on right now with the president, with NATO, and it's unbelievable. How many people do you know right now? Have you had any discussion? Have you honestly had any discussion with anybody regarding cluster bombs? You might have had something that we use the word cluster, but you've never, ever, have you ever talked to anyone about cluster bombs and or NATO? Anybody? Have you? No. What is NATO? Where is NATO? What does it mean? Where is Ukraine? Who's Zelensky? Why do I care about this? What does this have to do with anything? What does it mean? What does it mean? That's my thing that I kept thinking to myself, there's two piles of stuff. There's the stuff you and I can talk about, and then there's the stuff that the other people will say, "What are you talking about?" And there's more of them than us. So what do? How do we get this point across? How do I talk about cluster bombs? How do I do this? And then I talk to people on the right who they still have this bloodthirsty idea about Putin. I have no idea. Have you seen the Sound of Freedom? Have you seen it? You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself, my friend. That's a great statement to make. That's a great statement. When was the last time you went to a movie theater? Think about that one. When was the last time you went to a movie? It's so weird to go to a movie theater. I don't even know if I like them anymore because the people are they're fat pigs and they're stupid and they can't find their seat and they talk and they're looking at their phones. And I hate people. By the way, today, I'm going to tell you this. A guy walked by me today. He's on the phone, and he's talking big business. Yeah, right. Well, did you run it by? And he's talking. He walked by me. There was a BO, I swear to God, it's like once in every 10 years. It's not the worst I've ever experienced, but it's up there. It was almost like there's something chemically, the man's rotting. I thought he was decomposing. I just had to share that with you. He's walking around thinking, do you not bathe? You should be at a doctor. You should have they have things you can use. I think it's almost like either, not thalidomide, but Botox for armpits or axillary. I hope it was that. In any event. You got to go and you got to watch and you got to see these people. And they're just such pigs. People are so loud and garish and boorish and rude and oh dear God. But you know what? It's worth it though, because you got to make a statement. You got to make a statement to drive these people crazy because whatever they tell you the story is, it's rising. You've got to make a statement. And you got to say something. And you got to do something even more. You've got to pick up the phone. I'm going to say this. I'm wasting my time. But you've got to call your local person and say, what are you doing to prevent child trafficking? What is your position on legalizing sex work? What are you doing? Call your congressman? You're not going to do that. So I'm going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. You're not going to call your senator. You're not going to have an email with those addresses over and over and over. Nope. But the big mouths will go on Twitter and they'll talk about stuff, or they'll talk about some arcane aspect of it, or all of a sudden guess what? Hey, we're whatever it is. And by the way, and it's wonderful to see people meet, but whenever I see anybody meet, especially in quasi-conservative, quasi-patriotic, quasi-religious meetings, I think BS, blowhards. In it for the glory, in it for themselves, so they can wave a flag, virtue signal, feel so, and then after next week or 2 weeks later, they're back to business as usual. Absolutely. These people are so full of it, these self-righteous phonies who they're so big. They talk this stuff up like you can't believe. Oh, we respect our troops. The ones who say respect our troops, and then people like Lindsey Graham who want to go to war. In what, Finland? What are you talking about? Don't you understand what's happening right now? So we live in a world where we talk, we're great, we pat each other in the back, and we do a good job. But then we realize we're by ourselves here. We are completely by ourselves. We live in a world right now that is so disconnected, so removed from reality, so it's not even remotely funny. It's incredible. And you know who's still making more sense than anybody else? Trump. Dear God, I keep saying this. He won't stop making sense. Oh, do you see how they're going after Bobby Kennedy now? They're bringing up the fact that, did he really write his paper? Did he really write his thesis? A+. Listen, let's face it. When Bobby Kennedy was a kid, you could tell he was a jerk. You could look at him. You could see for yourself. And the whole family, after what they've been through with his drugs and his self-righteous and importance, I mean, he's a different person now. But still, there's a lot of, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that jerk is still hanging around. But you know what? I don't care. I don't think, you think Abraham Lincoln was a nice guy? I don't think so. Trump says no cluster bombs to Ukraine. Biden should not be dragging us further into World War III. He's absolutely correct. And then Biden didn't show up to this last thing. And then he's not even sure. And Zelensky said, do you want me in NATO or not? Well, I don't know. You know what? Let's see how the war goes. Wait a minute. That's why I'm doing it. Huh? Here's a poll on Breitbart. Confidence in higher education is down sharply. Somebody did a poll on this? Somebody actually had a poll? You commissioned a poll on this one? And by the way, if you think this country's bad as far as illegals, oh man, wait till you see Peru, Italy coming in on rubber boats. Oh dear God. It's the most incredible thing in the world. Climate alarmists fret over too many African and Indian babies on World Population Day. The UN marked World Population Day on Tuesday, publishing a forecast that the Earth's population will hit 9.7 billion by the year 2050 and surpass 10 billion by the end of the century. The report was laced with delicately expressed anxiety that the surging populations of African nations might develop Western-sized carbon footprints, overwhelming even the most extreme plans to control the world's climate. Now, you know, and I know, what this is about. You know, and I know, okay? You know, and I know. What do they care about? It's not about, oh, we're not going to have any room. We got plenty of room. That's not it. If I bring up Bentham, if I bring up Malthus, you think anybody would understand? Probably not. Probably not. Do you know how the notion of depopulation, others have been going on? People, they think they just, developed it right now. But this is the oldest thing in the book. Remember Paul Ehrlich? Remember this one? You understand that? That's all. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now the left is hitting Biden over Ukraine involvement. Cornel West, Dems a party of war. I like Cornel West, and the reason why is I'm not really sure what he's saying. I'm not really sure what he's saying. He seems like a very nice man. Wears that black sash around his neck. And he'll talk in ways, he'll say things that are just beautiful. Another one, too, which is my favorite. Well, there's a number of people I listen to. If I want to sleep or just tune out and you don't have anesthesia, put on Jordan Peterson. I'm out like a light. But if you want to make me laugh, Michael Eric Dyson or Tyson Dyson, this is the greatest, the absolute funniest. And of course, second him, Cornel West. Now here's one too. This is another one too. Maybe you can. Did you know? How do I say this? Did you know? What was I going to say? Oh, here's a story too. I don't know if you saw this one. This might be interesting. Post-Tucker Blues. Fox News stock. Wells Fargo downgraded Fox Corporation stock on Monday as Fox News' viewership continues to decline. In May, ratings for the news outlet took a significant dive after host Tucker Carlson left the network. Does anybody in their right mind think that the reason for this is because of Tucker Carlson? I've got to ask you this question. Do you believe, seriously, that the reason for this is because Tucker Carlson is no longer there? Did you see his interview? I couldn't sit there the whole day. I'm going, why is he doing this? With Andrew Tate or whatever his name is. His 9th? Wow. What is going on here? I think I have my theory behind why he's. But does anybody really seriously think this? Do you? And by the way, let me just tell you something. As I have always said, this is the most talented person who has broached subjects that nobody else did. And for that, he should be thankful. But does anybody honestly think, do you really think that's it? They go, oh, that's it. Have you seen it lately? Have you seen it? One show out of the day parts that do exceedingly well, one show at 8 o'clock? They're going to go see what? Go to Newsmax? I don't think so. OAN? Find it. And that other one that nobody can find? Let me get this straight. People are going to say, you know what? I'm not going to get all of my conservative news because if there's no Tucker Carlson, that's it. I'm gone. I'm finished. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to hear about anything. I don't care about this. They're not going to read. They're not going to go online. They're not going to go to any of the news service. But they're going to leave because of that. Still maintaining their conservative bona fides. Still maintaining their righteous conservative whatever it is. Still believing that. But they're going to leave because of Tucker. Come on. Think about that. So what's going on there? I don't know because I don't watch Fox News anymore. And I don't watch anything. And look at me. I don't read newspapers and I don't go online. And that was it. I walked away from the only source of news that I watch because they got rid of a show at 8 o'clock. Are you kidding me? Come on. Have you seen how? Do me a favor. Please. If you can stand it. This is just fun because we're all programmers deep down inside. See how horrible that is. Listen to Ainsley Earhart and Ducey and the other guy talk about NATO. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. While you're at it, flip over, and I don't know if you can remain objective enough, but Flip over and look at the morning. Watch CNN just for a moment. Which one looks like the news show, and let's look, and which one looks like a bunch of people at a car show. You ever see women at car shows? You know, they bounce around, and this is the whatever. Seriously, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Do you see what's happening? The world is collapsing. The news, it's done, it's finished. And the best part is, most people around the world who really want to know, they don't care about this. They don't go there. Nobody's watching that. The world is right there. There's so much news. It is so much. How much would you like to? You got to read it. You got to read it. You know you have to read, right? You're going to have to read. People, I don't read. If you want to read, if you can stand that awful eye tracking and comprehension, your world will open up to things you have never even thought possible. Things and history, and it is there right before you. And I want to inspire you. And the first thing you have to do is you have to spend more time away from the madding crowd and more time away from the usual suspects. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to think for yourself. Think for yourself. And stop being involved with all of these. That's all. Don't be cliche. Don't say woke. You're using woke too much. Sometimes I use the word woke almost like as a kind of a shortcut or something, but I'm using it too much too. The word hasn't meant any. Have we made any progress? Whatever we are? What are we? Right wing? Am I in the right wing? Are you in the right wing? Is this or the wrong wing? Whatever it is. I have no idea. Have we had any progress? Name one thing that's gone well for us. Name one thing. Some good Supreme Court cases. Short of that. Anything? What's Jim Jordan done for you lately? Anything? Any FBI big shots? How about the FBI? A federal investigation shows that the FBI actually was sent information by Ukrainian, I love this, Ukrainian military, or the SBU, whatever, the one who has Gonzalo Lira either tortured or dead or I don't know where, sent information to the FBI and said, hey, tell these people we got a list to knock it off. And then the FBI sent letters to various social media places to shut people down. Can you believe what's happening? Try explaining that to the rest of the world. That is the most egregious example of blatant First Amendment violation you could ever see. Try explaining that. Try. It won't even register. It won't register. Nothing. They don't know what you're talking about. You understand this? So, my friends, we're very good. We have some of the most wonderful stuff here. People write the most, and I do. And we talk about things in the opposition party and the loyal opposition and the controlled opposition. And we talk about this and that and the reset and the rest of the world. Absolutely nothing. Let me tell you this much. As a friend of mine once said, the Republicans suck when it comes to elections. The Democrats stole the election legally. The Democrats stole the election. Joe Biden didn't win anything. But you know what? Democrats know how to do it. Ballot harvesting, picking up ballots, driving people to the polls. They know all kinds of stuff. And what do the Republicans do? Nothing. We tweet. We write pithy tweets. Look at this great stuff. It's incredible. Look at this great stuff people write. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's this stuff that just makes me absolutely laugh. Or we'll talk about Bud Light. How many folks want to talk about that story? For the love of God, let it go. Nobody cares. How about this? Let's talk. I mean, you can talk about it. Anheuser-Busch isn't shutting down. It's not even close. Target, Anheuser-Busch, the subject of tonight, Disney, it's not. So what are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Nothing. We're going to talk about it. We have no representation. We have nobody in Congress. We don't have any of these election ninjas that go and do stuff that's underhanded and dirty, but that's legal. We don't have anybody. We learn nothing. We just sit back, but we complain, and we're self-righteous, and we're so right and so strong about this and that. But we let this happen year after year after year. And that's why Gavin Newsom's going to be the next president. Because right now, while everybody should be organizing, you know what the Republicans are doing? Nothing. They're waiting for the next CPAC or the next Moms for Liberty or the next whatever it is. They love, hey, it's a Trump rally. They love rallies. Have you heard of a Democratic rally? Have you heard of a Democratic rally, honey, ever? Anywhere? Do they have any groups of Democrats? Do they have, again, Moms for Liberty, or do they have a movie that, no, I mean, you could argue that. Do they have a CPAC? Do they have a Charlie Kirk and a Turning Point? Hey, do they? No. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. But when it comes time for the elections, they drive people to the polls, they show up, and they shut up, and they vote. And they vote en masse, and they vote collectively. And they don't turn each other. They don't pull a Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Boebert. They don't call her a little bitch because she voted for this one. I mean, just they don't. When McCarthy, who, let's face it, you got to hold your nose. When Matt Gaetz, where's he been lately? You remember what I said about him? Get ready, just wait. Where's Matt Gaetz? Where are these people? Big mouths. Freedom Caucus. We're going to kick you out of the Freedom Caucus. That's terrific. More dissension, more disagreement. The Republicans stink. Okay? Stink. Now, what are we going to do to fix that? What? What are we going to do? I'm telling you, I'm every day telling the world, please stop doing this. They're going to win. They're going to win again. Don't you understand this? What do you need to change this? What? Where is this? They are so cold-blooded, these people. They've got everything. Department of Justice, courts, Attorney General, borders, everything. There are more illegals in this country. We don't even know how many are. They just did it. Nothing stops them. Mayorkas, they bring him in front. They chewed him a new one. Tore him a new one. Whatever the particular phrase is. And he said, took care of him. Don't worry, as soon as you're gone, we'll take care of you. Ask Fauci how he's doing. Ask Fauci. We take care of you. Fauci said, they never forget. They're very loyal. That Walensky, she's set. She is just set for life. Everybody is. And what do the Republicans do? What? You fight. And you don't like this one. And you don't like that one. And Ann Coulter doesn't like this one. And Jim Jordan. I mean, it's just. And you just forget things. We forget things, the country. Remember Afghanistan? We were shocked over that. What am I bothering? Why am I bothering? Because maybe someday somebody will say, hey, you know what? I saw this guy on that there YouTube thing, and he makes a lot of sense. We aren't doing anything. We actually aren't doing anything. Isn't that the funniest thing in the world? We aren't doing anything. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And he's right. And we just watch TV. We just have our favorite people. Hey, the new Tucker. Oh, I got to send this to you. Why are you sending it to me? It's great. I get that all the time. I will never understand. Why are you sending me these things? Why in the name of God are you sending me stuff? I don't know. Somebody was going to send me something about a court case. It's like, why are you doing this? Please, I beg you. I beg you, talk about this. Why? What good does this do? What are you doing? Why are you sending this to me? I don't know. Please, please, you gotta... Why don't you send this to maybe your congressman, your senator? No, I don't want to do that. I want to send it to you. Why don't you have your elected official talk about this? I don't worry about my elected official. I just want you to talk about it because I want to be a program director. I want to tell people what they should and shouldn't talk about. Okay? That's the part that just kills me. That's the thing that just absolutely kills me. Or all of a sudden, Mrs. L, who's been working on stuff for years, all of a sudden they'll say, hey, somebody somewhere mentioned the term human trafficking. Did you see this? Why are you sending me this? To let you know that I saw this. Okay, you saw it. Well, there you go. Now you saw it and I passed it on. Why am I watching this? I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm just showing you. I saw this. Not to be redundant, but do you ever think about sending this to your elected official? No, I don't do that. No, I'm sending it to you. I'm going to listen to Steve Bannon now. He knows what's going on. Okay, that's good. He's very good. Very interesting. I like his stuff. Did you maybe think about, have you ever contacted anybody you've elected? No. Half of the people. How many people? What percentage of the people, you ready for this? With all due respect, even watching us now, how many people do you think don't even vote? How many people? Because we love to just talk about it. We just love to talk about it. Love to get mad. And we have our favorites and our boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, I like them. Oh, she's great. He's great. I love him. He's great. I never forget one time. I was it was Christmas time, and somebody said, I'm going to go to the Newsmax Christmas party. Wow. I'm going to see Greg Kelly. And I thought, oh my God. Most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. One time I saw Mike Pompeo speak, and I said, is anybody listening to Mike Pompeo? No, but that's Mike Pompeo. Here's the best one. I saw Carrie Lake one night. She was a rock star. I have no idea why. You know she's living with Trump. At least she moved into Mar-a-Lago. Does she have a family, a husband? I don't know. Anyway. And I saw it and I realized it. They just think she's famous or something. That's it. Has she ever said anything she's going to do for this country other than the fact that she's bitching and moaning about her election for the millionth time? I got it, Carrie. You lost the election and they cheated. Other than that, what do you have to say? Nothing. Trump does that. Oh, why do I bother? You've heard enough. You've heard me before. I know. I'm an idealist. I think that somebody somewhere is going to say, you know what, this guy makes a lot of sense. You know, he's right. I am going to start sending all my videos to the people that I, vote for, my elected officials. That's a good idea. That's Mrs. L's video. Now, if you want to watch this, you understand this? If you like this, if you want to watch videos, and if you want to hear what you can do, what she's been talking about forever, and why, there was good news at the state of Maine? First state in the country to pass the equality model regarding sex work, which is, it's not oxymoronic, it's just wrong. One of the biggest stories that nobody will cover. Promise you. Because you don't have any idea what the hell they're talking about. It's one of the, she's been talking about this equity model forever. Forever. I don't think anybody else is going to be talking about that. Why? It just doesn't have, because you can't use the word pedophile. You got to say that word 1,000,000 times. Then you'll get people's attention. I know one guy, I swear to God, he must get paid by the letter. It's the saddest thing. Ford phrases, who do you think comprises the shadow government? The Royals, Gates, Soros, CIA, DOJ, all of the above. It's the people that are collectively responsible for actually charting the course of conduct of the country, both socially, not both, but socially, politically, economically, historically. Remember, entertainment, politics is downstream from entertainment, according to Andrew Breitbart, and I think he's absolutely correct. What your kids listen to right now, what your kids listen to, and what is out there is more important than anything anybody. Oh, by the way, one good thing, I know I'm going to mention the name again because you don't know, but Colleen Ballinger, this apology gate, people are very, 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 and I like this. They seem to be, like, oh, she's just, Miranda sings. It's a kids thing, but they're very offended over the fact that little kids. She lured little kids, and they may have been inappropriate with them in terms of subject matter. And they use the word grooming, which is the second most overused word, incorrectly all the time. It does apply, but not that way. At any rate, so there is an inherent sense of wrong. People say, that's wrong. This is just wrong. And that's the most refreshing. Because in that category, because let me say this, kids are talking about her, and kids are saying, why is this person that we liked so much, who ostensibly liked us, why are they giving her a hard time? Because of what they told you. What did they tell us? They were saying inappropriate things to you as a child. Oh. So that's wrong? That's wrong. That's inappropriate. And it creates an actual dialogue or a conversation, as people say. More beneficial than anything that the Turning Point folks could ever do. Because right now there are millions and millions of people, young people, actually discussing. So that's not right. To have a singer basically texting kids and supposedly singing. Anyway. But you see, because I have to explain it too much, but I'm used to it. But that was the best news ever. I want there to be a complete and total allergy to the notion of kids being not just trafficked, but trafficking the mind, trafficking their innocence, treating them like, I would love to be I have a top 10 most wanted list. A lot of people, you won't even know who they are. But they're in Hollywood, and guess who they deal with? Guess the subject matter. Kid stuff. Kids action movies and adventure stuff and kid stuff. And if you had any idea of what goes on, and by the way, to be fair, it may not fall under the category of trafficking. It may just be abuse. Just abuse for the sake of abuse. And I also want to talk about something, and I know I'm wasting my time with a lot of people, but there's something about destroying innocence that enrages me. Tonight we did a little walk in the hood where there's a park nearby, and two kids are playing basically kind of hide and go seek, and I'm hiding from you. And they were so sweet, and they just were being kids. And I'm thinking, when I think of how people want to target that, and I'm not talking about quiet free, I'm not talking about anybody picking them up, even laying a hand on them. No. It's their innocence. It's their mind. It's the world they live in. Do you know what it's like when everywhere you turn around there are people who see men are not men and women are not women? And you can actually use a sentence where you could call somebody, refer to somebody. I still think it was so, not funny, but a woman who says, I am a biological female identifying as a transgender non-binary, which translates into woman. And guess who agrees with us? Martina Navratilova. 99% of the stuff, you would call her a liberal and a Trump hater, but when it comes to female sports, she's spot on. And it's not about sports. It's about right or wrong. It's about trying to erase the distinction. And I saw those kids, and I'm thinking, that's the problem. And there's no movie for that. And I guarantee you there is not. There are more parents who say, my kid's got a phone. What's on your kid's phone? I don't know. Do you have their passwords? What? Do you have their passwords? No. Do you know about routers you can have to shut down? Do you have ways to check their phone? You know, there's things you can do. Mrs. L's been talking about this. What, forever? You can actually make phones safe? Well, I don't want to talk about it. That's it. No. That's where we start. Because it seems so innocuous. And you know how many kids actually tell others, I wish my parents would pay attention to me. Because the parents are worse than... So we're talking about something which transcends. See, it's easy. It's very easy for a lot of these self-righteous people, and it's true, to sit there and say, I'm against trafficking. Well, no kidding. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe you weren't clear on that. But what's happening right now is how people destroy the innocence of these people and their imagination. And we kill them through their schooling or lack thereof. We don't teach them how to think. We destroyed them during COVID. We destroyed them with masks. We destroyed them in the inability to even appreciate expression. We destroyed them. There are kids who are still missing in action, AWOL from the New York City public schools. They just went away. There's no truant officers. Kids live in a world right now of the most vile and horrible stuff that they are just... But that sounds kind of boring. And that phone. There are more parents who I would say, by the way, have you noticed your phone? Yeah. I got this thing. It's a special router. Did you know that? Little kid, little daughter, little son? Yeah. I know what you're watching. You're not going to watch anything without me knowing it. What? That's right. Your phone, I'll shut it down. I'll shut it down in a heartbeat. And even you're not going to send anything. You're not going to do anything. Your phone is because I know exactly what's going on. I know whom you're speaking to. I got all of this. I've availed myself of all of this technology. 99.9% of all parents don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because that's the trafficking of their mind and their innocence and what they see. If I told you about sextortion, the number of kids who take pictures of themselves because they're taking pictures of everything. We live in a world where we take pictures of everything. Your food, a dog drops a deuce on the ground. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of this. Take a picture of that. A smile. Hey, here we are. Take a picture. And if somebody says, hey, take a picture of yourself, I'll send you mine. Okay. Whatever, because kids don't have judgment. And the next thing you know, that picture is everywhere. Good luck trying. Try explaining to a kid. It doesn't come down off the internet. Anybody talking about that? No. It's boring. It's boring. That's where 99% of the problem comes. I promise you, most kids will never be trafficked. Most kids will never be abducted. Most kids will never have an untoward sexual encounter with anybody. Most. More than you can imagine will, but most won't. But more than you would imagine will have one little part of their development, one little part of their normal development skewed, changed by this depraved and sick world that we live in, especially from these bastards, and I know exactly who they are, who represent these studios that put this stuff up, and they seem rather innocuous, but they're anything but. And that depravity preys off of itself. When you get people together, if you get a lech, a perv, and a skeeve, and you put them in a room, and they start talking, and they're in an industry where you know what this one did, don't you? Yeah. Well, you know what happened in the 60s, don't you? Yeah. Well, you know what this one did. And next thing you know, it starts, wow. And the stories and, The stuff that everybody in Hollywood already knows. The famous ones. Anyway. So, that's all. This is Mrs. L's site. This is her YouTube channel. Oh, that's not it. This is her YouTube channel. I ask, of course, that you immediately sign up for it and enjoy the message she has. All right, dear friends, thank you for this. And thank you, Ford Frey. Thank you for your kindness and your support. You're a good egg. You know that? You're a good egg, and I mean that sincerely. Ford. Any relationship to Glenn? Is it Fry or Frey? Probably Fry, like Glenn Fry from the Eagles. Eagles are finally going on their final tour. This is what, their 5th final tour? Elton John's on his 80th final tour. And Madonna is she's still getting over her bacterial problem. All right, dear friends, you have a great and glorious night. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m., same bad time, same bad channel. You know where to go. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.